Hello everyone once again and welcome to another session of securing vSphere 5. In this training, in part 1 of the video, I showed you the users and permissions within when you connect directly to ESXi host, and this time I'm going to show you how to do the same thing within vCenter. So let me close this session and open a session with vCenter. So this is my vCenter. Within vCenter, the permissions are set in the same manner. So if I can show you this diagram, in this diagram, as you can see, that there are users or groups. User can directly be added to a role. This is a role. Then role has privileges. So this role has these privileges. All of the users who are part of this role are can power on machine, open console, configure, and then once you have this role combined with users or group, this is known as permission. As you can see the dotted line, this is known as permission, and then this permission can be applied to anything. It can be applied to a resource pool, it can be applied to a VM, it can be applied to ESXi host. So let's see here. If I go to the roles, as now, so the very first difference that you see with an ESXi host connecting directly, you would see only first three roles by default, but here you would see more roles. You have more roles here in vCenter. When you see, you can use these roles. These are predefined, pre-configured role, or you can, again, same thing, you can create your own roles as well. So for example, I can go here and again create a role with the name uh, VM management. I created the role VM management. You can assign all permissions to this role. It means then this role will be the most powerful role. Or you can say that this person who's part of this role, if you go again back to inventory or the network, let's go to the network, can configure a network. So this role has, so we can say VM network management. So this can configure. So we assigned the privilege and we created a role. Now let's go and see how this can be assigned to users. For that we need to go to home and host and cluster. As you can see that on within vSphere, another big difference between vSphere and vCenter is in vSphere you can see local user and group tab on ESXi host, whereas in vCenter it uses local users and group from your Windows machine. So if I go to start, so as you can see on ESXi host you don't see a tab for local user and group because vCenter takes the local user and group right from Windows local users and groups. Uh, on VM, you won't see local users and group here. Only permissions are there because users and groups are already taken from the Windows machine. So if I can show you here, I can go to administrative tools on your server, and here you would find local users and groups. Where are local in the command? Yes, computer management. Within computer management, once it opens, I can show you. Yes, here are the local user. So for now, here are local user and group. You can assign these users and groups. So here, I will create a new user named, let's say Dave, and Dave has password one password one and Dave, and that's it. You created a new user Dave, local users and group. Now you can see the Dave user, and Now we need to assign that role to Dave on this ESXi host. So I would go to the ESXi host, go to permissions, and right click create add permissions. In adding permissions, first of all, I can select the newly created role that I created, which is this one, network, and now I would add users. So now it is, here is Dave, the user that we created. If you need more users, you can go back to computer management. Here you can create more users. So I would select Dave, add, okay, and Dave is added with these privileges, and where? On this ESXi host. Now if you log in with Dave should be able to set up network on this, on have access to this server only. So let's try to do that. I'll go back to vSphere client. I'll go to, let's try to connect to vCenter with Dave first. So Dave, DA, password, and login. Let's see. Now while it is logging in, I would again go back to this diagram. If you understand this diagram, you should be able to understand everything. Role is very important. Role has privileges, so you have role and with privileges. Now you can add as many users to the role, or if there are too many users and you want to have all of the similar users within one group, you can create a group as well. So create a group, add users to the group, and then when you make permissions, in permission you would uh, add, you would combine the group or a user with the role, and this makes up permissions, and then you can assign those permissions to any object. Let's go back here. It is still connecting. It is now connecting. So I have two sessions. One session which has full admin privileges where I can go to. So this is now Dave's session. This is now Dave's session, and as you can see in Dave's session, you can only see one ESXi host. In admin section, you can see all ESXi hosts. Number one, because Dave has limited access. And number two is when you go to here and go to configuration, uh, in storage, what can you do in storage? You cannot do anything in storage. What can you do in storage adapter? You cannot do anything in storage adapter. What can you do in networking? So you cannot manage the network. What was the permission that we provided to Dave? Let's see. So I'm here. I'll go to Dave, and it is this. So it is connected to this role. I'll go back to home and check the role. Where is my role? Here is the role. Role has access to edit role, and if we see, this role has access to what? Configure network. Or let's see, assign network, everything within the network, just to make sure that if these permissions are working. I'll go back. Most of the cases I don't need to log back in again, but let's see. Let's go to, first of all, permissions. Let's see if those Dave is part of this server, and configuration and network. Dun, dun, should be given these permissions. Let me log back in again. So I'll go back here and I'll go to Dave again, Dave, and then password. Okay, so here I am. Password was incorrect, and try again. So re-log in, and let's check that out one more time. It is logging in. Again, while it is logging in, we can check users, role, privileges. Combined together makes up a permission, and then this role, users, roles, and privileges are applied to the objects within vCenter or vSphere. Let's go back here. So we are here. Dave has only access to this ESXi host. If you go to configuration, go to networking, here now Dave can only change these network settings as we set up. So this is how permissions and securities are set within vSphere. Very important thing is to understand this equation. Where is it? Users, roles, privileges assigned to any level. If these permission, if this users and combination of roles and privileges are assigned to VM, then they're assigned on this level. You are making permission. One more thing, you won't find local user and group in vCenter. You can only find permissions. Why? Because vCenter uses the local users and group from your computer, from your server. If you add Active Directory, you will be able to access all of the Active Directory, just like go to permissions, add permission. You should be, if you have Active Directory here connected, then you should be able to see the Active Directory groups here. Oops. So it is loading. So you should be able to see the active. For now, when the in domain place, when it says server, it means that it is getting local users and group. If you can select a domain, system domain, or your Active Directory domain, then you'll be able to see all of the users from Active Directory. You can create permissions from Active Directory as well. This is how permission works, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this one.